bell, let's take a look at the numbers for today's fight, the tail of the tape. And as you can see, Mayweather has a slight height advantage, a larger reach advantage, and at 140 is really lighter than he has fought in the last 6 fights. He's been in that 144 to 148 range. And of course, the big number there, Tszyu is 9 years the junior of Roger Mayweather. The IBF rules for today's fight will prevail. The 10-point must system is in effect. The standing 8 is not. Neither is the 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the bout. And that referee for today's fight is Australian Billy Mayles. Mayles calls the fighters to the center of the ring. And Alex, we're about ready to go.
Yeah, you see the staring there. The psychological game has begun, and the physical part of it's about to begin. For those people who have followed Roger Mayweather's career, Dan, over the years, who wonder if he made the weight, he struggled many, many times and killed himself making weight many, many times. He came down after having been a welterweight in his last several fights. He made 140 on his first try and made it very easily. Was at the weight, he says, all week long.
It's been over a year since he fought at 140. It was May 27th of 1994, and here we go in Newcastle, Australia. Roger Mayweather and Tszyu. And Tszyu possesses a lot of power in that right hand of his. It's the weapon that Roger Mayweather must avoid, and if Roger's to have success early, Alex, I think he's got to use his jab. Oh, good combination by Tszyu, and it's Mayweather going backwards.
You saw Roger shooting the jab there a few times, but you saw some power punches from Tszyu get home. If Roger can keep him on the outside of that jab, he'll survive in this fight a lot longer than I thought he would. But he's got to get the jab back to protect his chin, because if he gets countered with that right hand by Tszyu, he could go with one punch.
Oh, a good left hand hook there by Tszyu on the lead. A very aggressive Tszyu. Just recently, a naturalized Australian citizen, he and his wife.
Proud chant of Tszyu with his transplanted hometown favorite.
Don't be confused by the spelling, the T-S-Z-Y-U. It is pronounced just like Z-O-O. This is local zoo, Tszyu. And by all appearances, Alex, he is the real deal.
You see the little pigtail there that he affects? He actually started doing that as a Russian amateur fighter and had an awful lot of trouble getting permission from the authorities to do it, but he was determined, and he was so talented as an amateur, probably the best amateur in the world in the early 90s, that he got away with it.
Minute and 23 seconds left here.
Whoa!
There was a good right hand by Roger Mayweather that landed.
A very good right hand from Roger. Yep. He got the attention of the champion, the young champion. Maybe a little respect with that punch.
That left hand by Tszyu caught nothing but gloves, but you can see he caught Mayweather with a short right. I don't know that it did a lot of damage, but this is a fighter in Tszyu that does not rest when they're in the clinch. He'll throw punches.
There's Roger clinching as we said he might in the strategy. He is not tying up as much as I thought he would. There, tying up again. Referees trying to keep their hands free. Roger being very careful. You see the respect he has, but he has to stay out of range of that right hand. He ducked under it that time.
Inside 30 seconds here in the first round. Oh, and there's a big sweeping left hand. Again, though, when it lands, you hear it land, Alex. The punches of Tszyu have got something behind them. With a good uppercut by Mayweather, but again, strong work to the body by Tszyu as we come to the final seconds of the first round. Welcome back to Newcastle, Australia. Tszyu in the black trunks, Roger Mayweather wearing the leopard print.
Right away, Roger goes for the clinch. Ties him up, and he's going to make the referee come in and break him. Referee, oh, another good right hand.
Oh, strong combination in return by Tszyu. That seemed to hurt Mayweather a bit as he came back against the ropes.
Punch it off, come on.
Roger Mayweather landed a good punch to get that thing started, but it was Tszyu in retaliation.
Again, you saw Roger hold on until the referee came in to forcibly break them.
Right now it's Mayweather every now and then adopting that defensive posture as he kind of leans back and allows himself to be guided towards the ropes.
Roger grabbing again.
But again, Tszyu doesn't want to separate peacefully. He's going to get one in before he leaves town. The reach advantage belongs to Mayweather. He needs to use that jab to keep Tszyu on the outside.
A totally defensive posture there by Roger. He wasn't even thinking about shooting punches. He was thinking about knocking down Tszyu and then grabbing.
Well, he did effectively block those. They hit nothing but glove.
Punch it off. Punch.
Roger Mayweather knows that Tszyu is not going to hurt him when he's got him tied up like that. Again, that punch caught nothing but glove. It sounded good, but hit nothing but glove.
You see Roger trying to shoot.
There is a little jab that connected. Didn't rock Tszyu, but it's certainly when those land, they tell you you're within range and be cautious.
And Roger always used to use that jab as a measuring device for his right hand. Roger Mayweather used to be a tremendous right-hand power puncher. They called him a little Thomas Hearns. Big upper body like Tommy, little spindly legs, and he could shoot a right cross as deadly as Tommy or anybody in the game in recent boxing history. But in 1990, he snapped a couple of tendons in his right hand, and he has not really had the pop in the punch in his right hand since that time.
Tszyu coming into this fight. Accumulated 6 total rounds of championship boxing. Roger Mayweather has 84 coming into today's fight. A lot of experience on the side of Mayweather, but...
And that experience against a dozen men who held world titles. I mean, it's not just names. It's really some of the biggest names in boxing.
Names like Whitaker, Chavez twice, Pineda, Livingstone Bramble. A lot of strong boxers have faced Roger Mayweather. The end of the second. The beginning of round number 3. We're at the Newcastle Entertainment Center here in Newcastle, Australia. North of Sydney on the eastern coast of Australia. And Roger Mayweather and ABC have come a long way to watch this fight. And a lot of people in the boxing world will tell you that Tszyu is worth the trip. A reminder that after this fight, we have an extensive look at the in-the-ring career of Mike Tyson as he prepares to make his comeback in a little less than 2 months. So at the conclusion of this fight, make sure to stay with us. I think you'll find it interesting.
Roger Mayweather holding and shooting a right uppercut there.
Again, Roger Mayweather looks at times, Alex, like he's confusing Tszyu. He's not giving him a lot to hit. He's clutching, he's grabbing.
Low blow there.
Yeah, there's a warning. A warning by the referee to Roger Mayweather to keep them up.
Roger says, I'm a huge underdog, ref. Give me a huge. Let me get away with a little something. Tszyu is a very good body puncher. He actually took Livingstone Bramble totally out of the fight in the first round when he landed a really devastating body blow. He has not worked the body much with Roger. You can see right there that Roger's giving him a right hand to the body.
Short left uppercut by Roger Mayweather. And it's a somewhat of a wrestling match that Tszyu is finding himself in right now, and the crowd not very happy about it.
Well, we said at the top that Roger isn't here to win style points. He's here to hold as much as he can, to take as much time off the clock. This is his version of the stall. But
he better not catch one of those big swinging punches by Tszyu, Alex. It's evident they've got something behind them. Tszyu is a fighter that is more than capable of ending any fight he's in with one punch. Good jab by Mayweather.
These clinching and grabbing tactics by Roger Mayweather just have not let Tszyu find any kind of rhythm so far. Oh! Oh, good right hand by Roger Mayweather.
Well, you saw him in that defensive posture, lunge out with that right hand. He's got to do that periodically. He's got to do it every now and then to at least earn the respect of Tszyu.
Punch, punch, come on.
Flicking jab.
Jabs there by Roger, keeping the man at bay.
Stop.
Coming to the end of the third, and quite frankly, there are a lot of people in Australia didn't think Roger Mayweather would see this part of the fight. Here's the beginning of the fourth round. Remember, this fight scheduled for 12. It's for the IBF junior welterweight title held by Tszyu in the black trunks. Roger Mayweather there in the leopard print.
And Dan, I must say, right from the opening bell here in round 4, you can see the frustration in Tszyu, the young champion on the left, because he came out and just fell into a clinch. He showed no imagination. He showed no ability to kind of use his jab or use any kind of combination to keep his man off of him. He just kind of went inside and accepted a clinch.
Well, by far and away,
Box, okay?
the toughest fighter that Tszyu has faced. A warning from referee Billy Mayles telling Roger Mayweather that he wants him to box. I don't think that Roger's all that impressed with the referee telling him what to do.
Yeah, he really said it to both men because both men have been clinching. Roger's been forcing him, but Tszyu has not exactly been trying to force his way out of him. There he did, tried to throw him off.
Well, you saw that Mayweather clamped down with that right arm onto the left of Tszyu. Roger Mayweather can't pay attention to the referee or the crowd. He's got to fight his own fight. Roger Mayweather kind of saying, come on, have a piece of this.
I'll tell you what, I think Tszyu's got a little bit more respect. I think Roger might have hurt a little bit there. Tsyu had been clipped by a few of those right hands in the early rounds here, Dan, and I think he has some respect for Roger Mayweather, and he's not just going to walk in, as he has been able to in his first 14 professional fights. He has felt whatever power Roger Mayweather has left, Tsyu has felt it and wasn't crazy about it.
That big right hand by Tszyu really just grazed across the shoulder of Mayweather. We've got a minute left here in the fourth round. I don't want to use the word cautious to describe Tszyu, but certainly he's a great deal more deliberate than he was in the early going.
And a great deal more deliberate than he has been in his first 14 fights. He is not putting his punches together the way he did.
Well, he's pretty much had his way with everybody else.
Their veteran trick by Roger Mayweather. Keeping the jab out there stiff in his face to keep him off and then throwing in a right uppercut.
Well, Mayweather certainly has not expended a great deal of energy here in the fourth round. He's hardly moved from this position on the ropes. Ooh, good uppercut by Mayweather. That right hand landed. And another strong right hand by Mayweather. Boy, you can see it got Tszyu mad.
But also Tszyu missed, did not land in retaliation. Roger made him miss.
Two solid punches by Mayweather here at the close of the fourth round. And Tszyu comes all the way across the ring.
Come on.
And Roger Mayweather meets him on the ropes. The fourth round, in my mind, Alex, I thought it was Mayweather's best round.
It closed very well. Tremendous learning experience for the young champion on the right.
Oh, there was a good left and then followed by a right hand by Mayweather that landed. Of course, they always look better than they are at the beginning of a round because the fighters' heads are wet and the water goes flying. There's Johnny Lewis, the trainer of Tszyu. Of course, fight fans are familiar with Lewis because of his work over the years with three-time world champion Jeff Fennick,
who was commentating here right around the corner from us at ringside on the fight.
Punch, punch. Come on, let him go.
This is where Roger Mayweather spent most of the fourth round, and it's where he's spending this part of the fifth.
You know, Dan, at the end of his career, Sugar Ray Robinson knew he had no legs left. He used to get up on off of his stool, stand in the corner, fight the whole fight in that corner, and then end up there so he wouldn't have to walk across the ring to sit on his stool. Roger has not strayed very far from his corner.
No, he has not.
This entire round.
He hasn't moved more than 4 or 5 feet, and Tszyu has been more than happy to come to him.
Punch it up. Come on.
This is to alert our stations that at the end of this round that we will be taking a station break. Our station's on down the ABC line. Roger Mayweather kind of clawing a little bit at his left eye. I don't know if he got a thumb in there or what.
We should say that there is a little bit of swelling under the eyes of Tszyu, which is typical of his performances. Even when he's dominated, he is prone to puffiness under the eye.
Get your head. Raise it. Come on.
Billy Mayles.
Referee to Mayweather.
Yeah. Billy Mayles telling Roger Mayweather there to not lead with his head.
Stop. Okay.
Right now, Roger Mayweather appears to be a
Now, this is a
puzzle.
world championship fight. Let's try to this, Satay. Come on. Where you go?
Well, you could hear the referee in his own way telling these fighters this isn't the way he expected a world championship fight to unfold.
And Roger responded by landing a good solid right hand.
Oh, there was another right hand by Mayweather.
Stop. Come on. Come on.
You saw the two men touch heads right there. Tszyu got a little bump on his left eye.
Coming to the end of the fifth. We'll return after a word from our ABC stations.
Stop. Let's fight, okay? Where you go?
Referee Billy Mayles again gives the two fighters a lecture before the start of the sixth round about this being a championship fight. Let's fight. Billy acting like he paid his way in here.
Punch, come on.
Well, Billy's right, but not from Roger Mayweather's point of view. From Roger Mayweather's point of view, he's fought a perfect fight. He's done what he had to do. He's neutralized the superior skills of his opponent, the superior legs, the superior hand speed, the superior power. He's frustrated him. He's not let him find a rhythm, and he's survived.
Good combination there by Tszyu. Got the crowd excited, although it didn't do any damage. And again, Roger Mayweather, when in doubt, grab.
None of this.
Again, a reminder, everybody, that at the conclusion of this fight, that's scheduled for 12, we've got a retrospective look at Mike Tyson as he prepares to get his boxing career underway again. We'll go all the way back to the days of Mike Tyson as an amateur and look at his career all the way up until he went to prison. So that's coming up later here on our ABC Sports Professional Boxing Series.
Punch, punch, punch.
Obviously, there is very little meaningful punching in this fight, Dan, as we come up to the halfway point of the fight. Not great action, boring, booed at times by the crowd, but tactically, strategically, it's interesting to watch. An aging 34-year-old veteran like Roger Mayweather on the right, using all of the things that he's learned in his professional career to hang in there against a superior talent, although much less experienced man in the champion.
It's virtually impossible to imagine that Mayweather could win this fight if it goes to a decision unless he was to somehow turn in a superhuman performance in the final 6 rounds.
Well,
but from a survival standpoint, you're right, Alex.
We're not even halfway. I mean, he could take something out of Tszyu, frustrate him, and if he feels he's got enough left, he could try to come out of some of this shell and see what Tszyu's got left. Tszyu has never been past 10 rounds. Roger's been in, I think, 14 times.
And Tszyu's only been to 10 3 times. And that's the longest that he has gone. So you're right. He's going to try to take Tszyu into uncharted waters. And Roger Mayweather, even though at his age of 34, has been there and done that. Oh, a wild left hand by Tszyu misses.
The crowd, that's not a boo, that's a Tszyu chant. But there you saw him. This is as frustrated, I promise you, as Tszyu has been in his pro career.
Punch, punch, punch.
Again.
Come on.
This is his first title defense in front of his hometown fans. He really wanted to look good. He has not to this point.
The end of 6.
Where you go?
They started in the middle, and Mayweather goes right back to his favorite spot on the ropes.
Come on, go.
Again, no more than 3 feet from where his stool sits. He's got some hanging tape from his gloves. Billy Mayles calls time and sends him back to his corner to get his tape tightened up. minutes. We're halfway through this thing. How do you see it?
Well, I think that you have to have the champion on the right of the screen, Tszyu, ahead. I gave Roger Mayweather 1 round on the basis of a couple of right hands and late in the round. There you see both men.
I'm with you. I gave Mayweather the 4th, but that's the only round that he has on my scorecard.
Maybe one other round even. Early in this fight, Dan, I think Roger had a terrible problem, which is I can come out and be aggressive and maybe get knocked out, or I can fight defensively and lose rounds, but survive. Now it gets more interesting.
Come on,
Yes,
Now we're getting into the second half of the fight. Maybe Tszyu's punches don't have as much zip. He's gone into 3 fights. The 3 fights that are going the distance were fights with Juan Laporte, went 10, Livingstone Bramble went 10, and Hector Lopez went 10. And in none of those fights did Tszyu show good power late in the fight.
There was a good left hand by Tszyu that landed. Oh, and another strong right by Mayweather in retaliation.
It may be that Roger can open up a little bit more. There, a right uppercut. Roger's got that move down pat. He holds Tszyu with his left and throws the right uppercut.
Tough to miss when you're actually pulling the head towards you as you're swinging.
A combination that Hector Camacho made famous.
That's a little of the been there, done that strategy.
There, you saw Tszyu
Punch it off. Come on, punch.
not know what to do. Went to slap with the right hand, stopped the punch, went to throw left, didn't. An awkward, difficult, grabbing, clutching opponent. You just can't look good with a Roger Mayweather, as smart as he is at this stage of his career. You're just not going to look good.
Tszyu in the black trunks, born in Russia, fought for the Soviet Union, and won a world amateur title in 1991 here in Sydney, Australia. Decided to stay, has become a naturalized citizen, very popular here in,
Punch it off. Come on, punch it off.
in Australia, lives in Sydney, fighting a couple hours up the road here for the, I believe, the 4th time here in Newcastle, Australia. A good solid right hand to the body by Tszyu.
And interestingly enough, as we come into the closing seconds of round 7, Dan, Roger Mayweather will finish this round about 2 feet away from his stool.
Punch it off. Come on, punch it off. Punch,
He
punch.
will.
And he has really not gone any farther away than that. This baby is scheduled for 12, and we've just finished up 7 of them.
Up.
Roger Mayweather left your screen, the measuring jab and the right hand over the top scored big for the challenger.
This is action now here as we've gotten the 8th round underway, and Roger Mayweather in a part of the ring that he hasn't seen in about 4 rounds. He's actually closer to Tszyu's corner than he is to his own.
Come on, Mr. Mayweather. Let him go.
And he looks over at his own corner like, don't worry, I'll be back in a minute.
It may mean that Roger wants to do a little bit more this round. He may want to move a little bit more. Maybe he feels that at this stage
Let him go, Mayweather. Come on.
he can expend a little bit more energy, that he's got enough in his tank. Oh, good whipping right hand by Roger Mayweather.
Tszyu seems to be doing a lot of measuring of Roger Mayweather. He's got the ability to take anybody out with 1 punch.
Stop.
He can't make the mistake a lot of young fighters make and fall into that head-hunting mode.
One interesting thing, Dan, about the right hands that Roger Mayweather has landed. We said he's lost the pop in his right hand. It's not the devastating blow that it once was, but it's still a solid professional fighter throwing a right hand and getting his body into it, pivoting into it. They have scored well at times. They have had no effect on Tszyu. And one of the questions you always ask when a boxer moves up from the amateurs to the pros, can he take a punch? So far, at least, in this fight and in all of his others, Tszyu has proved that he can. So far, he has not yet faced a world-class 140-pound fighter in his prime.
A reminder that this is the first of a 3-week boxing series here on ABC's on Sunday afternoon. Next Sunday, we're going to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico. We'll be there for Johnny Tapia and Arthur Johnson as they battle it out for Tapia's World Junior Bantamweight Championship. next Sunday afternoon as we continue our ABC Sports Professional Boxing Series. Next week in Albuquerque, Johnny Tapia and Arthur Johnson. Right now, though, it's in the land down under. I'm Dan Deerdorf, along with Alex Swallow. We are in Newcastle, Australia, watching a title defense here being put on by Tszyu and the Black Trunks against Roger Mayweather.
And just to repeat the point we made earlier, Dan, this is a lousy fight in terms of action. Very little meaningful punches, an awful lot of grabbing. But there is some drama here. There is a story here. This is a classic confrontation between an aging champion and an up-and-coming young champion, an aging ex-champion, I should say. One on his way out, one on his way up. And right now, the old master is giving some lessons to the young kid. The kid is winning, on our scorecards at least, but he isn't looking good doing it, and the ex-champion is surviving.
Scheduled for 12. We're coming to the end of number 8. Round 9 is underway. And again, it's Tszyu, a little more aggressive this time out of the corner.
Give me time. Now, if you don't fix his glove...
Now, Roger Mayweather's glove again. The tape has come loose.
You know, the referee, that referee just warned the corner, if you don't fix his glove, you'll lose a point. That's just silly. It's almost impossible. Once the tape gets wet, it starts to go, you can't put fresh tape over it and make it stick. It's going to keep coming off. I mean, that's just silly on the part of the referee. You've got to keep stopping the fight, because loose tape can flick in the eye of the opponent and cause an injury, but you can't threaten the corner.
You can't get angry at tape.
I'll tell you, Roger can use the rest. He looked very tired in between rounds.
You can see Roger's mouth is hanging open, and you're right, he is tired. But he's 34 years old. A solid right hand to the body by Tszyu. And he appears to be a guy who's come out with a little renewed vigor here in the 9th round.
Good right
Over
hand.
the top right hand by Roger Mayweather. It connected.
Come on.
Connected, scored, did no apparent damage.
No.
Stop. And so...
One interesting bit of byplay in between rounds, Dan. In Roger Mayweather's corner, his cornermen were asking him to stay off the ropes, fight out in the middle of the ring. He said it's slippery in the middle of the ring. What happens very often when they paint a huge decal or logo like they have in this ring, the paint does not absorb the sweat and the water off of the boxes, and as the fight progresses, that logo becomes very, very slippery, and Roger Mayweather doesn't want to fight over there. He can't get traction.
That's one of the great explanations I've heard in a long time, why Roger Mayweather wants to stay right where he is on the side of the rope.
No, but I've seen it happen before. It actually is true.
I know it is, but...
It may be a rationalization.
It works for Roger. Oh, there was a good right hand by Mayweather on that separation. He came up with the uppercut and caught Tszyu on the chin.
One of the few that he's thrown when he hasn't been holding Tszyu behind the head with his left. Scored well. Very, very difficult fight to score, Dan. I mean, for you at home that are watching this thing, there's so much grabbing. There's so few clean punches.
Come on, Costa. Come on, let him go.
Roger just shook his head. They're hitting on the break. Tszyu, who has always been sportsmanlike, hitting on the break. And I think there's a little bit of damage.
Well, if this fight does go the distance, our 3 judges, one is from the United States, one is from Australia, and one is from the Philippines. I'll remind you once again that after this fight is over, we have a look at the in-ring career of Mike Tyson as these 2 trade punches.
2 good right hands by Roger Mayweather.
And that tape is loose again on the right hand of Roger Mayweather. We'll see if the referee throws another fit about that loose tape.
Tszyu had created some momentum with that punch in the break. He had Roger a little bit wobbly, just a touch, but with a couple of right hands, he really stopped the momentum. Tremendously resourceful performance by Roger Mayweather.
Good right hand by Tszyu, got in.
Come on.
We move inside the final 10 seconds of the 9th round. Tszyu
Come on.
is a little perplexed by Roger Mayweather. Johnny Lewis, the trainer of Tszyu, has been busy in his corner. Tszyu has a cut over his left eye. It appears to be in the eyebrow or just underneath the eyebrow.
And Roger Mayweather just drilled a right hand right on top of it, and he took whatever solution Johnny Lewis had on it, and he just popped it out.
Yeah, he took it off, all right. It's above the left eye of Tszyu.
And the important thing is, the referee said between rounds 2 and 10 that it was caused by a punch, which means if Roger Mayweather can open that cut up and cause the referee to stop the fight, that he will win it.
Come on.
On a technical knockout. They will not have to go to the scorecards as they would if it was caused by clash of heads.
Now, Tszyu has had a problem with cuts on the eyes before. He had a cut eye during the Rodriguez fight, the one in which he won the title. So this is nothing new for Tszyu to have a cut eye in a fight. But again,
he has never appeared to be distracted by it, Dan. He has fought through it very stoically with total focus, never let it bother him, take him out of his game plan. The thing that's bothered him much more here have been the tactics, the grabbing tactics, and the occasional punching. And
another thing that happened during that last corner break was that the referee gave a stern lecture once again to Mayweather's corner about if that tape comes loose one more time, I'm going to deduct a point. He said, this is my final warning. Again, Mayweather clutching that right of Tszyu. You can see a little blood again starting to appear around that left eye.
If Roger Mayweather was ever going to take one last shot at winning a championship, he better let it all hang out right now.
This might be as close as he gets.
Try to bust that eye up as much as he can and get the referee to stop the fight. He's put himself in a position to win his 3rd world championship. I never thought he could do it, but he has.
We're in the 10th round of a fight scheduled for 12. Mayweather has won the WBA 130-pound title and the WBC 140-pound title.
The crowd chanting Tszyu, try to lift their champion.
There is Natasha Tszyu, the wife of Kostya. She also came from Russia and, along with her husband, has become a naturalized Australian citizen.
Come on, punch.
And this is as far as Tszyu has ever gone. When we go into the 11th round, he'll be someplace he's not been before. Both fighters were up and awaiting the bell to start the 11th round. And boy, do these two look focused here at the start of the 11th.
Come on. Stop.
Alex, to your point, I think, about Roger Mayweather being this close and maybe not ever getting this close to the door of opportunity again, I think is really valid. We'll just see if he's got enough gas in the tank to do much with it. Well, there was a low left hand by Tszyu.
Good right hand by Tszyu in that coverage. Other left. Tszyu a little stronger right here. As he goes into those uncharted waters you talked about, Dan, he isn't saving himself. He's not pacing himself.
Punch it off.
Now,
only looks like 6 minutes. He feels confident that he has no problem going the 12-round distance.
Only 6 minutes of boxing left.
From Roger's point of view, though, you see his tactics haven't changed. Even with the cut, he still is trying to take time off the clock. He knows he cannot fight a full 3-minute round. He just has to grab like this and hold on for as long as he can.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting about the cut on Tszyu, Alex, is even though he's cut, he doesn't appear to be swelling a great deal. Most fighters, when they get that cut on that eyebrow, have a lot of a swelling that's attendant with that cut, and Tszyu doesn't appear to do so. If anything, most of the swelling on the eyes appears to be Roger Mayweather.
And it's also interesting because, as we noted earlier, Kostya swells a lot under the eye in almost all of his fights. No matter how easy the fight is, he just seems to swell underneath.
This is to alert our stations that at the end of this round, we will be taking another station break. Roger Mayweather, game here in the 11th round. A very active Billy Mayles, the referee here tonight. He has been a central figure in this fight.
This may be it. No, I thought maybe he might warn him and say one more. Holding is theoretically against the rules. You can warn a guy for excessive holding and take a point away. The referee has chosen not to do that. Look at the referee, and very, very close. Very, very close.
You really get the impression that he'd like to, don't you, Alex?
Well, he almost looks like a referee who's thinking about stopping the fight. But there has been nothing to warrant that so far.
Well, he must be seeing something then that we aren't. Oh, there was a good right hand by Mayweather. He caught Tszyu on the way in. Another right hand to the temple by Mayweather.
Come on, punch, punch. Go.
Well, these guys got 3 minutes left here as we come to the end of the 11th. We'll return after a word from our ABC stations. The 12th and final round is underway here in Newcastle, Australia. Tszyu in the black trunks against two-time former world title holder Roger Mayweather in the leopard. And these two guys are letting their fists fly a little bit here to get the 12th started. A good digging left hand by Mayweather. Oh, and there's a warning that it was low.
1 point.
Oh, he's taking 1 point away. Billy Nails deducting a point from Roger Mayweather for that low left hand.
Yeah, I think that's silly.
Yeah.
I really do. He hadn't ordered that. Roger has not been fouled.
No.
That's just a silly point. I don't think it's going to make any difference in the ultimate judgment. Even Tszyu looked a little embarrassed when he came over and said, I don't know what he was doing.
Alex, I agree. That's exactly. Tszyu gave Roger Mayweather a look that kind of said, sorry about that.
If this was a close fight, we would be deeply outraged.
Yes.
We, of course, are assuming that our brilliant scoring Dan is the official scoring, which, of course, it is not.
Not that we've ever been wrong before. Not. Tszyu, Alex, I guess my question to you is, does a fight like this teach him as much as I think it does?
Well, I think we won't know that, Dan, until we see him the next time out to see what he learns from him. I mean, as we're halfway through here in the final round, he certainly has not looked good, but he's been in with an opponent that's made it impossible for him to look good. You know, Roger Mayweather's job isn't to come in here and fall down and look good for an ex-champion. Roger Mayweather is a proud man, and he's got a tremendous heart. And he came in here today in the closing fights, maybe in the closing seconds of a terrific career, and gave a tremendous account of himself. I don't think he'll win this fight. I don't think he's close to winning this fight, but it's a tremendous story. It was not a great fight. It wasn't even a good fight. Very few good punches, but tactically, we talked at the top about what Roger had to do.
And there's that tape. Oh, look out. Look out. The tape.
Cut that.
Oh, he threatened to take a point away. Looks like Billy Nails is not going to follow through on that. He just cut it off.
He's already taken one silly point away.
Yes.
The point I was making was he came in, he survived, he made fight on. It just, to me, was an amazing performance that he was able to.
Oh, there was a good left-hand lead by Tszyu that kind of rocked Mayweather inside the final 30 seconds of this fight. And at least Tszyu can say now that I've gone the distance. I've gone 12 rounds.
Tszyu eating a two-punch combination there in the closing seconds.
Tszyu has some hanging tape now.
Give me time.
Oh, come on. Yep. He's got some tape dangling from the left glove.
Let me just take one quick moment to say, at the end of this fight, Dan, you see a couple of things in Tszyu that he should work on correcting. He's a little bit straight up, and he might have to bend a little bit more to get leverage as we come to the close of the fight.
Punch comes the punch.
There's the bell. This fight is over. A reminder that we'll return here to Newcastle, Australia for the decision, an interview, and a reminder, still lots to come concerning Mike Tyson, a retrospective look. We'll be back in a moment.
Castrol Iguasan scores the bout 118 to 100. And the winner, unanimous points decision, and still the IBF welterweight champion,
Roger Two quick questions. One, how good a fighter is the young champion?
He's a pretty good young fighter. He's well conditioned. He's a conditioned fighter. Not real slick or not smart, but he's strong. He's kind of strong, but not far stronger guys. But he's a pretty smart fighter for young as he is. Many fights that he had.
Where do you go from here, Roger?
Well, you know, my career, I had a great career in boxing. I could have keep on fighting if I decide I want to do that. I'm just going to sit back and think about it, what I'm going to do. I fought a young fighter in his hometown. Couldn't get much traction in the ring because you know he's shooting, but couldn't get much traction, so I stayed by the rope, so I was sitting in the middle of the ring. But the guy they got a good chin.
Thanks, Roger. I appreciate it. Congratulations on the effort you put out. We're going to go over and talk to the champion. Thank you. Tasha, congratulations. First, rate your performance. How do you think you performed?
Not the best, but I'm very happy with my performance because Roger, like I said before, he's a good, smart boxer, and he's a very experienced fighter. And for this time, in my first defense, I'm very pleased to fight him.
Only your 15th pro fight. What did you learn from the fight?
Like 12 rounds, I'm not tired. It wasn't really tough. I mean, all the time he was a very awkward boxer. All the time he was smart. That's why he couldn't box me. I mean, he couldn't give me a chance to box. That's why I'm not really tired. I'm not tired at all. And it's like another 12 rounds, I'm ready to fight him. And I mean, not him. I mean, I'm ready to fight, continue fighting. That's why this fight gave me experience. So if you got good preparation, you can fight anyone in the world.
Congratulations to you. Now let's go back to Dan Deerdorf at ringside.